Welcome to the show. One of the hottest tickets on Broadway this season is Good Night and Good Luck, a play based on the 2005 film of the same name. And as for the show's leading man, none other than entertainment A-lister George Clooney. I recently sat down with George to chat about his big debut.
There are a certain kind of people who are the lifeblood of democracy.
George Clooney is a Hollywood superstar with 2 Academy Awards, 4 Golden Globes, and countless other accolades to his name. But this spring, he's hitting a major first. How are you feeling?
Nervous, are you kidding? Crazed. Honesty.
Clooney is making his Broadway debut as Edward R. Murrow in the film-to-stage adaptation of Good Night and Good Luck.
Truth. I haven't done a play in 40 years. I mean, it's a long time.
Good Night and Good Luck is based on the film written by Clooney and his longtime collaborator Grant Heslov. On screen and on stage, Murrow goes face-to-face with Senator Joseph McCarthy, as McCarthyism, a campaign to root out suspected communists, grips America in the 1950s. On screen, the star played CBS TV producer Fred Friendly. For the Broadway adaptation, he's playing the legendary broadcast journalist.
Murrow was an interesting guy. He started out as an educator, and then he became really the most trusted man in America, which I don't think you could or maybe should have now, right? But what he did was, starting with World War II and being up on the roof during the London Blitz, he was there to bring us the news unfiltered, but he was such a good writer. You know, it's funny doing these speeches and working on these speeches. What a good writer he is. And so that it's important because, again, it's this moment in time is us at our best, as sort of Americans, in a way, at our best. And so he was a good version of us at our best.
For Clooney, portraying a broadcast journalist on stage isn't so much of a stretch. In fact, let's just say it runs in the family. When I was doing my research on you, I didn't realize that you went to school for broadcast journalism.
Yeah, and clearly that worked out.
Well, but
people are running to see me do broadcast journalism.
You can do anything.
No, you know, my father was an anchorman.
Right.
And I grew up around newsrooms. And it was a really interesting time for local news. They were just getting live trucks. They still had a pretty good amount of autonomy. They were able to cover national news and local news in an interesting way. I would run the teleprompter. In the old days, the teleprompter, I was like 12 years old and I'd run the teleprompter for my dad.
Well, times have changed.
I know.
Commitment to jazz band was doing all the work for me.
Also making a Broadway debut in the play, actress and comedian Ilana Glazer. Glazer portrays Shirley Wershba, a role that was played on screen by Patricia Clarkson. Shirley and her husband Joe are writers at CBS and are secretly married. Glazer got involved with the project through a workshop in 2024.
I get to this basement of a theater in Midtown, and then they're like, okay, George is coming. I was like, oh my God, George Clooney is gonna come. You know, George is the multi-hyphenate, I relate to it, and his sense of wanting to meet everybody and be excited to meet everybody. He reads the part of Edward R. Murrow, but I just imagine it's like as a producer, you know? Yeah. And I read Shirley, and I'm having so much fun and like connecting with the work, and I'm like, this is just incredible. I'm learning so much. And I wrote George and Grant a note after this 2-day workshop to thank them for the opportunity. I learned so much, I had so much fun, and the dramatic side of this acting was such an exciting angle for me. And my agent was like, are you interested in being a part of it? And I was like, oh, I of course I would. And she was like, then you should definitely say that. So I was like, I would be thrilled to be a part of it, but no matter what, I don't care. This was such a great experience, and I can't wait to see it on the stage. And they offered me the part. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this.
Good Night and Good Luck screenwriter Grant Heslov co-wrote the play with Clooney. Tony winner for The Band's Visit, David Cromer, serves as their director.
When George and I became friends, his father's a journalist, and so Murrow was a big part of his growing up and hearing those stories. So that was kind of the impetus to talk about this. I mean, journalism is, I'm going to say something that's controversial, it's one of the most respected jobs that you can have. And I mean, but real journal. I mean, there are some great journalists, and we have great journalists that are doing, you know, beautiful work. But it's a tough time to be a journalist. You know, it's a tough time because there's so many outlets, there's so many people that it's hard to find the truth anymore.
We're not recreating the film. It doesn't take place in black and white. It's not quick edits. It's not, we aren't looking through window. You know, I mean, the film is a beautiful piece of filmmaking. This is more like real time. This is more like a procedural. It's more like watching people at work. It's more like being stuck in a room with something. We get to experience the broadcasts going live with everyone all at once, with all the characters hovered around this camera, hovered around this set. So it's any great story about facing something terrifying. I think it's always good to do it live.
When watching the film, you guys did this amazing thing of it being seamless, going in from archival footage to people who are actually from today, reenacting certain people. How's that going to work on stage?
It's a good question.
What can you tell us?
Come to the theater and find out.
Well, the journalist is asking for a tease.
Well, no, I mean, many of those same conceits that we use in the film, we're going to use on stage.
Okay.
So there will be a lot of real footage used. You know, the technology now with screens and all this stuff it's come so far, and we have beautiful set design and Cromer. You know, that's what David Cromer's so brilliant at is is the staging.
Yeah.
And it'll be a very different experience than the film, but it will also remind you some of the film.
It's a funny thing, when we did the movie, we used real McCarthy footage, you know. And then we tested it, as you take your movie out to test before you open it, you know. And we got all these notes back going, cards back going. We really love the movie, but the guy playing McCarthy was overdoing it.
Clooney says shining a spotlight on this moment in history feels hauntingly relevant, both when he made the film in 2005 and now 2 decades later.
It's kind of always timely, unfortunately, which is to talk about the importance of press and the importance of press holding truth to power. And I think we always have to remember how important that is and how, you know, as Thomas Jefferson would always talk about, we have to have that. We have to, if those other 3 estates fail us, the executive branch and the legislative branch, if they all, you know, the judicial branch, if they all fail us along the way, the only thing that keeps us as a republic is our 4th estate, and the right to free speech. So, unfortunately, we're timely. Good night and good luck.
And you catch George in Good Night and Good Luck now playing at the Winter Garden Theater, and it is a must-see. And thank you to Gallagher's Steakhouse for hosting our conversation.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest news and weather updates every 10 minutes and more. We'll see you then.